We're actually having the conversation right now. So thank you, everybody, for joining us once again for AM Rockland News. I'm your host, Tom Osa. As always, we want to thank our sponsors, Yabu Fence Company, Dana Pest Control. Kobe Sushi has a new music lounge in New City. Got to check it out. Wednesdays and Saturday nights, they have jazz music. Also, 202 Cannabis, located in Garnerville, New York. Susan Bova, Coldwell Banker Realty. Lauren Molino Muller, Howard Hanaround Realty. Whole Shop Bagels, and our friends over at 99 Signs. And I am very pleased to have with us today someone that I've become a fast friend with over the last year and a half or so. We both serve on the Workforce Development Board. Rich Gore, he's the Business and Employment Services Coordinator for Rockland Works. And it's kind of one of those hidden gems in Rockland County where people that need to be employed but just don't know where to turn. This is like a one-stop shop. And Rich, thanks for being on Rockland News today to talk about the program.
It's great to be here, Tom. Thanks a lot for having me. I'm psyched. Let's do it.
My pleasure. So I guess first of all, I know it, you know it, but what is Rockland Works? Just so that we can kind of go over it.
Rockland Works is a resource and a job seeker resource. Actually, it's a resource for both job seekers and employers in the area of workforce development. Basically, what we do is we help skill up and get people job ready, free, courtesy of the federal government, free for people here in the county.
Right.
And we skill them up and we hopefully place them in jobs as soon as possible based upon our ever developing relationships with Rockland's employers. Because, there's two sides of this challenge. Not only do job seekers want to get a job, but on the employment side, employers here in Rockland County are struggling to retain key employees, find opportunities that'll bring them skilled labor, et cetera, et cetera. So we serve as a free resource to both sides of that equation.
Yeah, and I've seen it firsthand. I mean, one of the things that's always been a challenge, especially over the last 2 or 3 decades, is retaining that talent. And it's not just the intellectual talent, it's the physical talent, being able to do those skilled trades very well.
Yeah, listen, things have changed since you and I entered the job force. Culturally, things changed. The pandemic had an effect on expectations of job seekers today versus 5 years ago. And employers have to be wildly sensitive to it. And in order for an employee to be wildly sensitive to it, they have to really understand the day in and day out of today's workforce as they come out of school or come to them from another country. The rules are changing a little bit of what retains an employer. What retains an employee. And there's work to be done on both sides, and that's why I'm thrilled to work with Rockland Works. They're really so good at this. They have a passionate staff that really gets it, and that's what helps the community here.
Yeah. What sort of programs are offered at Rockland Works at the moment?
Well, we have a few things going. We have ongoing workshops, which you could always. There's workshops happening every week. Everything from computer literacy to Excel to how to prepare for an interview to entrepreneurship. And these are free workshops which are run on a weekly basis, available to residents of the county. That's a pretty cool resource. And then, we service both youth and adults, youth 18 to 24 and adults above. And we're actively in it every day. And I guess we're sort of like a beacon of hope that really exists.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on rocklandsworks.org right now, and I went over to the events section, and I have to tell you, I feel a little jealous, and here is why.
Why so?
Well, I'll tell you, and you know that I worked at Rockland Bosie's for a long time.
I sure do. Yep.
I love Rockland Bosie's. I got to tell you, if it wasn't for Bosie's, I don't know if you remember Al Machete, who was the
I do know the name.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. And basically, so my family had a bike store in West Haverstraw many years ago. And I decided after a while it just wasn't for me. Now, I didn't have a college degree, and I was really I was in my mid-20s, and I was soul searching. And I just happened to open up the classifieds, and I saw an advertisement for a part-time instructor for computer teaching.
Wow.
So I applied for the job, and and Al was the one that hired me. Just
Oh, that's cool.
me out, really good guy. But I see on here on Rockland Works a computer skills class. This is the exact course that I taught.
That wasn't really.
Yeah, it is.
Well, you can never have too many instructors, Tom. So come on over.
I'm so busy. I mean, I want to, believe me, I want to get back into teaching, but like, Rockland News, Rockland Web, now Rockland Music Festival, but not aside from that. But I'm actually curious about this. So it says learn the basics of using Microsoft Excel, right?
Right.
And it's got all the formulas and everything. And right in there, and now I'm wondering, I have to find out because it says something about this very, very specific formula that, in my opinion, on Microsoft Excel is like life changing. And it's
Right.
called the if statement. Like,
Right.
if this happens, then do this.
Right.
If this
Right.
happens, then do that. I loved teaching it. And I'm just wondering if they might have found a lesson plan in the hallway somewhere that I dropped behind.
Well, the new lesson plans are for AI, my friend.
Yeah, they probably left all my stuff outside with about Schmidt, right?
Yeah, exactly. Good reference. Um,
But
yeah, now it's all about AI. But what's interesting, you mentioned BOCES before.
yeah,
We live in a time now where alternative career paths are becoming, far more valuable than they ever were.
right.
And I'm thinking about when I was back in school, it was always got to go to college, got to go to college, got to go to college.
Mhm.
Well, times have changed now. College is wildly expensive, and the alternative careers, stuff like learning electrical, learning plumbing, learning how to cook. These are all things that are not threatened by AI in the future. So they
Mhm.
become even more valuable career paths than ever.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I see that you do the courses on many ends of the spectrum. It's not just Excel. You mentioned AI. There's actually a course that's happening in 59 minutes from right now, uh,
Huh?
over at Rockland Works, is using AI for your job search.
Yeah, and by the way, that is such a great skill to hone because what it could do for you. Remember, you're dealing with algorithms every time you get onto Indeed, and people constantly say they can't get any response. AI helps you along with that, gives you a little bit more of an edge. So you sort of like have another bullet in your holster, for lack of a better term.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's all about AI and alternative career paths changing the trajectory of lives around the county. And we're really proud of it. On the other side of the equation, you have to have really cool employers who support us, that help us bring people to the party. You know what I mean? So there's two sides of this equation, as I said originally. You have to have a community of really proactive employers to make this whole thing work. And we're very fortunate here in Rockin to have that.
Yeah, yeah. But are there any specific ones that we know of? I know Beckerly Lumber is very, very actively involved with.
Beckley Lumber's involved. I mean, like, really, there's like major sectors that need to fill jobs, and that's the medical field for sure, which makes the hospitals key focuses here.
Mhm.
So you have medical. IT is another area that needs people.
Right.
Manufacturing desperately needs people, and we have to kind of work on that because we have to change the minds of people who teach their children what careers to pursue. But there are numerous career paths in manufacturing that we have to get real with. And then finally, hospitality. Restaurants.
Right.
Everything from restaurants to retail. My daughter. This is interesting. I'll share this story for everybody. My
Mhm.
daughter was at like a $10 an hour, $9 an hour employee at Zales at Palisade Center, if you know Zales.
Yeah.
And she took the job there in high school, went to college in Buffalo, took a job part-time with Zales while she was in college. And then when she got out of college and she had an art degree, she got laid off at the first 2 months of her of getting out, and then went back to Zales up there in Buffalo, ended up working there and ended up never leaving because she went into a career path that took her to a store manager, to a general manager, to a district manager, to running the entire company's digital process. So she went from that $9 employee at a retailer, right?
Hmm.
And it turned into gold for her. And she just followed that career path and was very successful. So I urge anybody out there that's listening to consider a career in retail.
I heard this great speech once, and it was a college grad that just basically just finished up and was able to speak for a few minutes. And it talked about many ways of getting to the top of the mountain, you
Yeah,
know. And I think that it kind of relates to one's career path because we don't know where it's going. Like the skills we learn at the beginning, I mean, they help, but
right.
then what happens? 5 years, 10 years.
Correct.
Years in, it could change dramatically, sometimes overnight with, like, for instance, AI.
Correct. And but you also you need to understand at a minimum or be taught at a minimum some of those, those soft skills that are needed to succeed. There are these little things that you need just some direction on, and we're pretty good at providing our youth in our youth boot camps, which I'll talk about later, direction and getting having some impact with them and learning the do's and don'ts of what it takes to be personable. We live in a time where social interaction is not the norm,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're seeing kids come out. I'm saying kids, youth come out lacking these skills, and these skills are necessary, in my opinion, my very strong opinion, to succeed.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line, it's wisdom, and that's something a
Yeah,
computer can't teach. It's really that human to human interaction.
correct. And by living on the phone, as a lot of these kids have, the social interaction has been less than it used to be, and that's impacting them in a negative way, not a positive way.
Hmm.
So we're here to help. We're there to help as a resource, which is great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, Rockland Works, there's various programs, but the main base is in Nyack, New York, at the BOCES campus, 130
Yeah,
North Midland.
yeah. We're in Riverview High School. So
Got
we have a bunch. We're also there with the Department of Labor. So it's kind of cool that we're all interacting and we're collaborating in ways to gain more to allow us to touch more of the county.
it. Hmm.
And by each one of these agencies collaborating, it allows the public to hear about us. Because remember, we're trying to communicate every day about what Rock and Works is as a resource. And
Hmm.
communication is key. And in order for communication to work, the entire counties has to collaborate with us. And that's what I love about living here in Rockland County. I come
Hmm.
from Brooklyn originally, which is not known as the most collaborative place on the planet, you
Could not
know?
tell whatsoever from your accent at all.
It was it really? Is that you really can hear? I'm really trying to pronounce my R's.
No, I'm from Queens, so the sarcasm.
All right, all right. I hear you.
I'm
I
not
hear you.
your cousin from Boston. No. Yeah, so I mean, and the website is rocklandworks.org. It's a fantastic website. I see and people can apply for jobs that are directly on there. Like, for instance, support staff, St. Dominic's Family Services. There's a Healthy Kids program, facilities and technical support coordinator. So it's really, I mean, almost every aspect of society in Rockland where we're
Yeah,
basically covering this.
it, it's
And
it, it's all over
good,
the place.
yeah. Now,
And go ahead.
in the future, because and I've always found this important for keeping youth in Rockland. I haven't had the chance to be able to help with this over the first 15 years of business, but now there's more bandwidth with Rockland News. So can you send someone from Rockland Works to be on the show on a continuous basis? Because we'd love to hear about new programs, new jobs that are coming out. So yeah, if that's
No,
available.
listen up, listen up. We're going to be doing a podcast. We're currently calling it Pathways and Possibilities.
Bam. All right.
And we're going to be on hopefully with regularity, and yours truly will be hosting it.
Hmm.
And we'll provide everything from interviews with experts, some job seeker spotlights, people who have gone through the process, hints. We'll also talk about youth apprenticeships and internships, which are huge in getting ahead, hiring potential. And then we'll get into the future work, skills training, voices from the workforce. We have a
Hmm.
not we have a lot on our plate we'd like to share, and we anticipate that this time will be well worth listening to.
Awesome. Well, Rich Gore from Rockland Works, thank you for being on AM Rockland News today. And we look forward to having you back on the show pretty much anytime you want. It seems like you and I could probably gab for hours, right?
For hours. And listen, we just want to drive this home. This is a free service for the county's residents.
That's
So
right.
come
Yeah.
on in, check us out at rockandworks.org, and don't be shy. Come on in because we're there. We have a bunch of passionate staff to help you get a job.
Excellent. Well, Rich Gore, thank you for being on the show today. And just want to thank our sponsors once again. Sponsors are as follows: Yahoo Fence Company, Dana Pest Control, Open Sushi with their music lounge opening, well, it already opened, it's in May, so you got to check them out. They have jazz going on Wednesdays and Saturdays evenings. QOC Cannabis, Susan Boga from Cold Club Bank Realty, Lauren Molino Mowers and Howard Manor Realty, Cold Pot Bakes, and our friends over at 99 Times. This podcast is available several times a week and is also available on Apple as well as Spotify. You can also catch all the news that matters to you most at rocklandnews.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Tom Oster, and thanks for tuning in today. Take care.